Hello there, Internet. Hello there, YouTube. Welcome back to another of the Hunt Gamers solo hardcore runs, playthroughs of the game X-Men Legends 2. Our last run unfortunately ended in failure, and to be fair, I am not of a mind to restart it yet. I do plan to complete them all though, so I'm going to have to go back and finish the ones that failed, of which there are only two thus far, Toad and Juggernaut. Unfortunately, they came quite close together. Um, of course, the Toad one was a very specific challenge run as well, so it is what it is. Anyway, we're going to be doing another, and we're going to be starting off and doing this one as Nightcrawler because I use him as a reference a lot. I frequently talk about how Nightcrawler is so good in the early game. He's like, you're not going to kill a boss as fast as Nightcrawler. It's like all the he has a really interesting kit, and it doesn't quite function like the others. Early game, especially, very strong. Anyway, we're going to get in there. We're going to get into it, and yeah.
Let the games begin.
So, one of the things that makes the Nightcrawler really good is this. He's just one of those lucky dogs who, at the very start of the game, just has a great ability. And when I say a great ability, I mean like Juggernaut's. I was like praising Juggernaut's Thunder Punch, which is, it's much better than what I was using. It's not even in the league of Divine Blades. The three best early game abilities are Pyro and Sunfire have abilities called Burn. They are slightly stronger than this, but this is still, I would say, S tier with the two of them in the early game. And you can quite comfortably just spec into Divine Blades, get Sword Mastery, and finish the game like that if you want. It's like super comfortable, the damage is always good, it's good against bosses, it's good against big mobs, it just kind of, it does everything. It slices and dices, Like, you can see how big, and it's a very controllable path. So just, like, watch. We just go right through them, no worries. Now, the downside of Kurt is his energy economy really sucks, but that's fine. On anyone who does sufficiently high damage, obviously you just spec hard into focus, which is great. Yeah, that's so the teleports are what you ultimately build to, as Jason has pointed out. He's saying the teleport attacks are awesome. And yeah, the teleport attacks are going to be ultimately what you build to. The main reason for that is because you have over two extremes. They're both decent. I wouldn't spec into this one, but I'll get this one because it's very cheap to buff. But it's this one. The damage of this is just unbelievable. So it's like you might as well then spec into Teleport Mastery to make it as crazy as you can. But yeah, so Kurt has really good stuff. So he has masteries for the two primary skills. He has just a passive flat dodge chance, which is really, really nice. But I feel like once you have a Disappearing Act, like at a decent level, and then just kind of the way you fight, you don't necessarily need those. But at the same time, you probably want to have a few. This one is really great in team play because he can actually just, passively save people from dying, which is pretty cool. And he gets critical strike on top of mastery, so he kind of double dips on the ability to hit double damage. But this is a lot of skill points. Ultimately, you're going to want, in a full build, you would probably want the full 60 skill points in all those three, but we're not going to get anywhere near that. So where he falls down is pretty weak team buffs that you wouldn't build into either of them. And his stat spread is not the most ideal, but that's not going to matter. So Kurt's kind of like if you build him as a sword character, he's just kind of an all-rounder. He's just good. He's kind of good at everything. He just cuts through big groups, and he chunks down bosses pretty nicely. Because even with the sword skills, you can still double up on the critical strikes and get all that good stuff going on. So the sword skills can do really, really, really good damage. Using a good chunk of EP here, but that's just the way it is because we start with 15 focus or so, and And we do actually want to kite stuff up a little bit, just to get full value from each cast. At least, you know, be hitting more than one enemy. We save a little bit of EP here, just kill these guys the old-fashioned way. Pardon me. Hello, auto aim. No. Okay.
Yeah, my power is growing strength.
Wait, that's an item. That could be awesome, and I just got completely gypped. Whatever. Anyway, as always, early game, you kind of have no choice but to just absolutely pump focus. And then maybe we get 1 point in teleport. It certainly has its uses. So this is your basic teleport. It just moves you around. You can sometimes. I mean, it's ultimately it's very much a strong tool for like speedrunning and stuff. It allows you to skip certain areas. You can. There are some secrets that you can get to with this. You know that are meant to be inaccessible, like via bridges or flying or something. But it can also be a little bit dangerous to use it that way. In a hardcore playthrough, because if anything does go wrong, if you can't get back, you know, you're kind of in hot poo. Anyway, as you can see, first boss mob, and we cut through them pretty comfortably. A little bit dangerous here just because of the goop that you get stuck in.
You said, let me create a for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that it would be really nice if Teleport Strike had something else to it, because so just if anyone's interested, so this is his normal teleport attack, which is just a really bad version of this. So this just flatly does more damage, but it also attacks more and it stuns. And as you can see, it costs a heck of a lot less skill points to max. So this is completely redundant. And maybe if you fully max it, it might do more single target damage. But it ultimately do less single target DPS, especially for the EP cost, because it only hits once. So there's just no comparing the two. It would be nice if there was something, some reason to potentially build into the normal teleport strike, or some utility it had, but it is what it is. But yeah, always want to do a little bit of looting if we can. Normally the targeting beam will break those for you, but for some reason it's misbehaving today. Don't get stuck. Get out of here. On your robot bike. Back to the Sliver Pavilion. And as you can see, the basic teleport, it has its uses. It definitely can like just help you move around a little bit. It can also get you out of some pretty tight spots. So all in all, definitely nice to have. And here, yeah. I spent a couple of runs just completely forgetting about the homing beacon up here. Man, it's a lot of bugs.
Now I can defeat any evil on Earth.
Get out of here. Alright, and as we say, once again, we want that sweet focus. And at this point, probably not going to hurt us to just go ahead and chuck a point into Sword Mastery. it doesn't scale particularly well, but you know, it is what it is. I'll probably chuck a point in there as well, just because like. I mean, aside from dumping points in Divine Blades, which is kind of all you need to do in the early game, just when you can do it. Unless you're getting really lucky with your add damage gear and you just slicing through everything nice and easy, in which case you could probably even afford to stint on that a little bit. But unless you, yeah, but as long as you do that, you kind of put the other skill points wherever you want them. And this guy, unfortunately, like Juggernaut, is going to take quite a while to spec into his endgame build. But that's okay. Master of Chaos does so much damage that even without Teleport Mastery, it's still a very good boss-killing weapon. So even if we have to have a kind of dual purpose build, this is super dangerous. Can I have some space, please?
Please, forgive me for that.
I have to remember, I'm still a melee character. I'm still a freaking melee character. I still do need to bait out attacks if I don't want to get too beaten up. But anyway, we trigger all those just so we don't have to worry about getting hung up on them while we're going around the room. And, you know, standard order of operations here, which is just to go straight for the big guys, the spawners. We kind of ignore everything else. You know, if we can get a pick on the other guys, it's not a bad thing. But the main thing is just to make sure we get on these guys, get them gone. Don't let too many of these little guys build up. The little guys, when you meet them, those little guys are the most dangerous thing in this game, 100%. Because so many of them can interact with your hitbox at one time, and I don't think their damage and everything is really like properly scaled for that. But also you have to remember this is supposed to be a game where there are 4 of you on your team, so you know you're never actually really going to be like surrounded by the little bugs. So I don't, you know, it's presumably not something they ever kind of play tested and we're like, oh wow, we need to like undertune this. It's one of those things that like just becomes really dangerous in solo play. But in fairness, sometimes you can get pretty beaten up down here, even with a full team. You shouldn't, but it can happen, especially the AI teammates, because they will just run into like a mass of these little guys and melee them. Out of here. And, you know, as I say, pretty comfortable. He just has one of the better early game abilities, but still not necessarily like a super safe, unusable early game, if that makes sense. The heroes who I would say kind of have unusable early games are those with the range advantage if you have enough patience, so like Cyclops, for example. Assuming you don't get impatient. If you get impatient, nothing will save you. But also I would say Pyro and Sunfire very much so, because not only do they have the range advantage, but they have big AoE, so you're not likely to get impatient when you're playing them, because you do kind of just cut through everything very, very easily. And got a slightly better balance of stats now. The focus situation is not too dire. You know what, let's just Kyle these guys together if we can. Get them on corner and just very satisfying ability to use. I love the fact that you can kind of control it.
Forgive me for that.
And this is still dangerous. This is still always dangerous if you have to go near it. But as you can see, while it's dangerous, you know, it's just like when you have to not make mistakes for, I don't know, 7 or 8 seconds or 10 seconds, that's one thing, and that's really doable. When you have to not make a mistake for like a minute because it genuinely takes that long to like, you know, kite and separate everything and slowly grind it all down, that's when you will 100% start making mistakes. I mean, look, everyone has their tolerance, everyone has their own you know, capacity for tilt, I suppose you could say. But I also think pretty much everyone has their breaking point as well if things are too slow. And yeah. So it's not going to let us teleport over there. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately. I might be able to... It's probably just too much of a risk. I didn't actually see that guy. So I was just going to be a bit of a smart ass about like, oh yes, you always have to dive these guys. This is your main priority. As I kind of just walk right past one of them.
My powers grow in strength.
Pew, pew, pew. Oh, the floor goo. Get out of here.
Sorry, my friends.
Oh, so like Toad, he also has this kind of like, so most characters have a kind of, you know, when you jump and heavy melee attack, they have this kind of like two-handed overhand slam that actually pops you up a little bit higher in the air, whereas Toad and Nightcrawler have this kind of directional kick, which can also be useful because it can give you some control over your movement in the air that you would not otherwise have. So you have both the teleport and that can help you move around a little bit.
Enjoy your
And as you can see, the damage is really nice. We get this guy out of the aura. We can just auto attack him down. And then the robot itself is not that dangerous. It's just that you don't want stuff coming in like this situation is exactly what we want to avoid, but there's not much we can do about it now. Just have to get this guy before he poops out too many little bibbers. And uncanny.
enjoy.
Uncanny. That is plus damage. Beautiful. Alright. Now we are cooking with the proverbial gasoline. Let me just do that skill point as well. And if I can't get one in Divine Blaze, I'll just go ahead and one into Critical Strike. And that should set us up nicely. Jump on that guy. The nice thing about this ability is also because it hits multiple times, your odds of getting a crit, well, no, it all bounces out, doesn't it? Don't listen to me. I'm babbling. Here they are!
Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
Oh, turn around, please. Honk.
Oh yeah, this is not going so well for you.
He's a snarky little shit, isn't he? Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Look out! You've been targeted by the defensive system. Keep away from that targeting beam.
And we should have gotten a nice, lovely damage spike. And there's also very likely some damage gear in town that I can go ahead and grab because we haven't been going back for potions. Squandering our precious tech bits because our build has getting the job done, getting us through.
Ain't this rich? The X-Men and the Brotherhood working together.
I'm fairly certain altered genetics does give them some resistance to energy damage, but or it could just be damage resistance in general, maybe.
Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
Oh yeah, something nice about this game is like, though you have these like kind of like I say this generic combo string, in the sense that I think Storm, Toad, and Nightcrawler all have these kind of generic like kicky combo strings, but all of them have their own like little touches. So for example, Nightcrawler uses his tail. I should be able to teleport across there. It is what it is.
I wish I hadn't had to do that.
Yeah, I think every character has like a shared combo string, but then they have like one custom animation. Though I think Wolverine and Sabretooth, theirs are all identical because Sabretooth is a PC exclusive bonus character. He's just a clone of Wolverine. Uses a different kind of skin, basically. Same build and everything. Unlike like Pyro and Sunfire, Pyro is also PC exclusive. And Pyro is like a clone of Sunfire, but Pyro has one different ability, and Sunfire can fly, so they're not identical. It's close enough. But yes, Wolverine and Sabretooth are functionally identical. Wolverine is even slightly better because Wolverine starts with a skill point. Like a skill point in one of his skills. Sabretooth literally doesn't even start with like one usable skill. So he's just Wolverine down one skill point. Also, Wolverine gets his danger emission, so he'll get an extra level at some point, and he'll also get his unique item, which is pretty good, actually. I wouldn't say it's necessarily comparable with like endgame melee gear, like the best melee gear you could have, but by the time you get it, it's probably as good as anything you've found, probably better than a lot of stuff you found. So it's probably going to give you a decent little power spike. So yeah, I think Wolverine would have had oh no, because they do. Yeah, I was going to say like he would have had unique like combos, but that's not true because his one is shared with like Cyclops and Magneto, I think. As you can see, we're having a nice, comfy early game. I'm kind of like just taking it really easy. The hardest part in Act 1, we've already done. We really just don't have a whole lot to worry about at this point. Now the question is just like, do we? I mean, even just 1 point, I guess it's not going to hurt us. And gotta keep getting body and focus. Yeah, not quite one-shotting these mobs, but I can blink portal. Swoop back. I've been calling some people also about upgrading my PC, and, so I can potentially stream some more modern games. I might be looking at getting something new in a couple of weeks. It'd be really nice. So, we definitely want this psychic gear, and we can afford it. So, bada bing, bada boom. Let's just go ahead and grab that. And you know what? Let's get that bonus skill point as well. So this is how comfortable we are. Like, we're not even at the first boss, and we're just like, oh, okay, I'll just have a bonus skill point. You know, I'll buy this expensive piece of gear because, you know, we have all this tech bits. We don't have to buy any potions, and he does decently against the first boss. Our damage just got like a big spike now, so this is gonna be really. Really good.
Well. You mean I got
Alright. Okay. And as always, run straight past them. So getting these all on target is a little bit tricky. But as you can see, when you do, it's not a bad boss killer at all. And you have to remember, if you were to full invest in this ability later in the game, it's going to have like a very high critical strike chance and a pretty decent base damage multiplier. So the performance will actually go up considerably rather than just kind of staying level. You kind of want to get him into a corner or something, somewhere with just a little bit less movement. Yeah, I don't mind tanking a few hits just to get more value from my EP because I'm not worried about dying. I'm only worried about resources. And there we go, first boss fight, very comfortable. Maybe not quite as pretty as when you do it with someone with range advantage and you kite very nicely, but you know, I can live with it. And so this is teleport attack. Teleport attack does have one nice use case in this sort of early game period, and that is as a distance closer. So what we can do is we can go. Hold on, I'm using the water, but we can say, you know, you hello. I mean, and it's good. It's like like the damage is not, you know, we one shot most things with it. But the main thing is just using it to like get to a distant enemy and then lay into them with divine blades. So still a nice movement ability because your normal teleport, unless you spec into it, it has a fixed distance, whereas teleport attack will go as far away as the enemy is. So for one skill point, you know, it gives you a movement option that I think is worth the investment. And did we have anything to sell? No, I don't think we did. We sold everything before, yeah. So coming in here, again, one of the more difficult areas in the early game because we do still have those spawners, and then we're going to get the energy resistant guys who are quite nasty.
I wish I hadn't had to do that.
But as you can see, we kind of cut through them a little bit, almost too easily. That said, as is often the case, you know, this build is going to have its challenges in the later game because we do not have invincibility. And we kind of have range advantage because we can do things like that. But, like, so what's amazing that I can just come in and pick off that guy who's, you know, who would drain my energy otherwise. So, like, don't get me wrong, like, the teleport attacks are amazing. But when the enemies get really dense, you can have these situations where it's like, okay, but then I need to get out. You know, I need to go in and get that guy, and then I need to get out. I can't stay in there and just finish the fight and kill everything with one of these or something. So, you know, that is something to factor in the late game. But then eventually you will get disappearing acts, so you're kind of functionally invisible, and you can very easily weave in and out with really dangerous mobs. But you need the extreme tokens. And then, of course, there's the fact that you could also just use those same extreme tokens to essentially clear the screen with Master of Chaos, because Master of Chaos is so freaking good. Here, a little bit risky, but I have faith in my damage. And I wanted to pull them all together.
Enjoy yourself.
On your drone bike, you filthy drones, get out of here. But you see this kind of... If you really want to have a good time, try Toad and Nightcrawler. Because Toad speeds up all Nightcrawler's animations, and when you can just zip around the screen one-shotting stuff. Ooh, okay. He's tanky.
You should have run away.
But yeah, when you can dart around one-shotting stuff, you're gonna have a really good time the faster you move. That's a shame. So glowing is plus damage, but it's radiation, which is obviously it's 5 damage. So the radiation abilities, radiation damage, on the first level of gear piece, it doesn't even out damage non-radiation over time. It's like 5 over 2 seconds versus just 5. So it's just flatly worse on the low level gear pieces. But as gear ranks up, it does start to get the number starts to get more, but also the duration increases. So you know, it might be the difference between let's say 50 damage and 120 damage over 4 seconds, and it's like the 120 is technically a bigger number, and it does benefit from all those multiplicative bonuses, focus damage, and all that sort of stuff. So now, if radiation damage like reticked all of your damage, like if it reticked all of your gear damage, then it would be busted.
Now I can defeat any evil on Earth.
Then you would build into it. There are bleed damage does retick all of your damage, by the way. So bleed damage is quite strong. But bleed damage is a funny thing. You need increased speed to make bleed damage more powerful. Even if it's only something like 10% or something. 10% translates to way more than it sounds when you're dealing with bleed damage. I don't know why. I just know the interaction exists. Because every hero who has a way to increase their speed and who has access to bleeds, the bleeds suddenly become like really viable and extremely strong when you buff your speed. So, for example, Nightcrawler has has the bleed DOT, and he has a gear piece that gives 10% extra speed. That's his his character specific unique. And if you put that on, suddenly the bleed damage is like, oh, okay, nice. Similarly, like Sabretooth and Wolverine have bleed damage, and they also have a buff that increases their attack speed really significantly. And if you invest in that, the bleed will become absolutely outrageous. And there's other ways to really increase their bleed. The bleed is how they kill really strong bosses fast. And honestly, in normal difficulty, there's not much that even warrants them like activating their full kit like that. Like it's kind of dead before they can actually because what they do is so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cast Feral Rage or Feral Rampage, or whatever, depends Wolverine or Sabretooth. So you're going to cast that. It's going to increase your attack speed by like 60% or something. Then you have an ability called like Talon Fury or Berserker Fury, so I forget exactly what it is. It depends on who you're using. And what that does is every time you hit with it, it increases your attack speed up to a certain cap. So you use Feral Rampage, you use that, you whack until your attack speed is capped out as fast as it's going to go. Then you hit them with an ability called Eviscerate, or you hit them with that first. And what that ability does is, it does an absolute cartload of damage, but it applies a debuff to the enemy where they take 50% more damage. So once you've hit them with all of that and your attack speed is maxed as much as you can go, what you do is you start stacking bleeds on them. And it's 10 versus 5. I really wish that had been a belt, gloves, but it is what it is. But yeah, so now you start stacking bleeds on them, and so what happens is not only does the speed increase the damage of your bleeds, but it increases the speed at which you can stack bleeds. So it rapidly gets like completely out of control, and so the other hero who gets massive benefit is Toad because of the way Mucus Spit works, where it creates that persistent DOT area, which I don't think it's supposed to do that, and it only does that if you have non-physical add damage on your gear. But if you do, it's absolutely busted. And it gets even more busted when you use Secretion, and when you use Toad's unique gear piece, which also increases your speed by 10%. So you have two ways of buffing your speed as Toad and enhancing your DOT, which is not a bleed, but it seems to work the same way as bleeds. Although it has an outrageously high tick rate as well. It's just very broken. It's not supposed to work like that, but it does. And you can see how good it is in my solo playthrough with Toad. Even though I do die in Act 4, which is really sad. You know, that is what it is. Like, you're not playing his optimal build, you don't have any real crowd control, so things can kind of run you over. And you don't really have that like point and click direct damage. You're kind of trying to kite everything into like a kind of no-go zone. It's a tricky build to use, but it's very fun. It's very strong. It's also worth noting that everything that makes that build strong, the spitting build, still works if you just put 1 point in Mucus Spit and build Toad otherwise as a melee character.
Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
And as you can see, we're kind of crushing this. It's really easy. Oh, cool dude. Ow. I got a little bit beaten up there, just when I was like bragging about how easy it was. Gotta get that humbling. And this guy is gonna be so, like, just unbearably tanky. But when you lay into him with all 3 sword swipes, they go down pretty nicely. we're definitely going to want another point in that, and then I suppose I'll get block. Not gonna hurt me down. Do I have a key? We want to go this way. Oh, and here's the body. But look at that.
Sorry,
You
mein Freund.
jump right through them. We may be able to teleport to that. I'm not 100%. What you can do if you don't mind taking the risk, which I obviously do, is you can jump partway over a ledge and then try to teleport. The problem is, if it's still outside of teleport distance, that will get you killed. And the only way to find out is to just do it. And it's probable that it is doable, but I don't know, like, from which angle, from which, location. But if you just press the button rather than jumping, it won't, like, teleport. It won't teleport you if it's not accessible. So here, what you actually can just teleport through this wall if you want, but there's no reason for us to do that. Here, there could actually be a reason to do that. Ooh. Thank you. Yeah, so the reason to do it here is because the trap is down there, and we can get rid of the Cersei Queen before coming in here to deal with these guys. And honestly, if for whatever reason, like, you didn't like what's in there, you just teleport out again. But I want the EXP, even though this is going to be quite a dangerous fight. However, we do have the option to just book it, which is really nice. I just don't want to be fighting that guy.
You should have run away.
Within range of those guys. Oh, the floor group. Oh, it's such a stack of them. Jesus, I hate these guys. Man, life is good when you have Divine Blades. It just shreds.
Sorry, mein Freund.
You know, once you get some add damage on it, it just cleaves through. Absolute, like, one shot that guy. That must have been a crit. Yeah, definitely a crit. It's doing about 50 per shot. Closer to 80 sometimes if it crits. Mar.
Yeah, mein powers grow in strength.
Yeah. Actually, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright. We kind of got everything we want now in terms of, like, the perfect setup of our early game gear. We'll just go ahead and chuck another point in Divine Blades and call it a day. Ooh, I almost took that fight with one energy bar. That's crazy.
Greetings again, my friend.
Good thing I noticed. So that's one weakness this guy does have, is that he is energy hungry.
I apologize for the lack.
He doesn't get any kind of, like, mutant mastery or anything that's gonna help his energy regen. Another bonus skill point. It's pricey, but you know what? I don't mind. I'll live on the edge. Let's do this. It's funny because all it's going to get us is like, you know, the tiniest little speck of damage, or you know, a little speck of like damage mitigation. Anyway, it's still cool to have. They do add up. So, second boss fight. Let's do this.
Don't you now?
And as you can see, it's just nice quality of life to have block.
I require my energy.
Magneto.
Quickly, get out of here.
Another hair.
When time for
Thank heavens you thanks.
I suppose the optimal way to do this is to go like a figure of 8.
This target's mine.
But I like to not go down the middle at all. So just kind of break the two end ones in the middle as we go around. Always fun. But yeah, energy demand definitely a little higher than we can easily sustain. But you know, that's what potions are for.
I wish I hadn't had to do it.
Now I can defeat any evil on Earth.
And we got another level, very nice. I say I don't want to go, I do go up that middle area.
This target's mine.
You should have run away.
And it's still just good practice to kite these grubs, you know.
They're getting away.
enjoy your slumber.
A little bit scary. But not a problem when you have damage.
You should have run away.
Damage just really solves all your problems. And we come down here just for the enemies.
I wish I had
And
had to do that.
these nice barrels. Yeah, just for the possibility of some nice loot. The biggest problem is if you speedrun the game actually becomes hard because, I mean, you use completely broken characters, like you use Deadpool, so you have rupturing jab and you can kill stuff and blah blah blah, but... Thankfully, unlike, say, Diablo 2, the game doesn't punish you for being under-leveled, so, you know, speedrunning it isn't that crazy difficult. Mind, thank you. And I I lost sanity points last time trying to do that jump as Juggernaut. I just did not believe that it was ultimately doable. I had to grab someone else and fly over. It is doable, but it's like pixel perfect and I just don't have the patience. It's being a jerk ass. This one is jumpable, if it is giving you any kind of trouble. Jumpable, but still not the easiest. It's going to be very, very difficult, I can sense it. It's just why is it doing this? Can I please? I'm very sorry about this. This is just the way the game is. It's an old game. I was basically across there, and I just kind of slid off the edge. You see what I mean with the... It's just janky. But yeah, we get across in the end. I know this platform is doable. At least with enough patience. The other one, I mean, again, it is technically doable, but oh my god, the other one is disgusting. And now we have to go get the box. Because we are weak, baby. And we cannot push the thing.
You do.
Another level, always nice. And yeah, one thing that's really nice is being able to use this nice ranged auto attack. Makes getting through those areas where everything is sort of all over the place much nicer.
Please forgive me for that.
Probably, I was going to say, even if we could get one in that, it might be better to leave it. Yeah, why not? Why not? A little bit of early game safety.
You X-Men ain't
Well done. If you do
Oh, I did not go get
Oh,
EP pods. That's
indeed.
fine.
Yes, I assure you, it will be most unpleasant. You have to focus. Fight harder.
How does the hitbox on that ability is such BS. I'm like on the other side of the freaking planet and it still hits me. And we unfortunately do kind of just have to do this the slow way, which is the way where we wait for our EP to regen. Luckily, you know, it's pretty easy to just kind of stay away from her. Honestly, doing it without EP makes it a little bit more fun. Just like, but it's very doable when you have teleport attack because you very rarely waste a damage ability with teleport attack.
not seen the last of me.
And as you can see, even very early game, even with almost no energy, just a very, very nice boss killer. And to actually grab some energy pots. I can't believe it. Press that twice.
I think you'll find my prices to be most reasonable.
Make sure we actually pop that back on. Now here we can actually get to the homing beacon.
Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
Oh wait, no, everyone can get to the homing beacon over here. I was thinking about the other side. So in theory we could go rescue all of the prisoners, but I typically skip this. However, it could be fun to do, just because, one, I know Nightcrawler can get it done quickly, because he clears through these enemies nice and quickly, but also because if I can get up to level 15 before Abyss, I'll be able to use Master of Chaos, and you'll see what I mean when I say it is the best boss killer in the game. So that could be...
You should have run away.
Oh, thank you. Not real kind of. I don't know.
So yeah, maybe we will actually do this side quest with Nightcrawler, just because we can. We don't need any outside help to do it. Let me go, please.
I'm getting out of here.
There's actually a couple of areas in this little side quest that are very kind of Nightcrawler friendly.
Somebody help me!
You should have run away.
And we obviously want the aura dead. Ooh, now these guys are going to be super tanky, but as you can see, super tanky is relative. This guy does super damage, so... it's not that bad.
Well, what have we here?
And you can see how nice teleport attack is. I'm like, I can't fully translate it to you if you haven't played the game and you don't understand like just the basic controls. Like, can be a little bit frustrating because of the really imperfect auto targeting and so on. So having an ability that kind of auto targets, that just puts you on top of the thing that you press the button on, like it is really nice. It's an ability that auto targeting legitimately works properly for. Like, not perfectly, but perfectly compared to most of the other abilities. Like, having the power to just go snipe something is super strong.
Oh,
Where you go?
And yeah, I don't mind skipping some enemies. We are still trying to do this in like a timely manner, so. And I can always just pop out and do the super secret bonus area if I'm like close but don't quite have my level 15. And hounds are almost tailor-made to wreck Nightcrawler. Because they even slow your like teleporting animation, so if you try to teleport away when you're slowed by a hound, you just kind of jump up into the air at this like painfully slow pace while you're just getting like beaten to hell. So if you use teleport frenzy while you're slowed, if there's dangerous enemies around, you're basically dead. Because you're locked into 5 super slow teleport animations. And you're just stuck in that for so long. And the hounds can keep re-slowing you and stacking the slow as it's happening. So yeah, very, very dangerous enemies to cut are hounds. But not at this point in the game, because they don't live long enough to be that much of a threat. Later, it's a different story.
sorry, my friend.
Don't let them escape.
Oh. But yeah.
Oh, thank.
I'm getting out of here.
You came just in time.
That guy really needed to go to the bathroom. Can we? Please? Please? No. Alright. What you can do if you really want to be a dirty min-maxer is when you're going through this game on hard at the very least, you can have a piece of gear that just has like +3 to teleport. Because teleport actually gains a lot of distance per bonus level, so even if you just have a +1 to teleport piece of gear, it will make getting around faster. You can just pop it on. And yeah, so these hounds become dangerous because they live a long time, so they can stack a lot of slows on you. Later on, it becomes way more dangerous because you have hounds with things like combo shields. Am I stuck?
Oh, I can't tell you.
So now it's like, okay, well I have to do a specific combo to this hound. While I'm comboing him, he's almost certainly going to slow me.
I'm getting out of here.
And then that slows the combo, so I don't actually kill him. Now potentially he can slow me again. Or you have things like hounds with protected by leader, or a leader hound with protected by minions, or just, you know, whatever, something that basically stops you from like quickly running them over and killing them all. And now they become really dangerous because they can stack a lot of slow in you in the time they live. Now, yeah, because I'm teleporting so much to try and get this done fast, we're using a lot of EP. Luckily, we should be fine cash-wise because I pretty much have all the equipment. I bought my redistributes, so yeah, fine for EP.
These items are some of mine.
I can afford to be a little bit of a profligate. Let's go ahead and as for this, I feel like, yeah, let's just go ahead and keep pumping Sword Mastery. And here we actually do have to come and rescue the prisoners because, yeah, I am doing the side quests because I want the EXP.
Please forgive me for that.
I'm getting out of here.
Qualifying exam, always nice, always lovely, always beautiful, always desired.
Enjoy.
I'm getting out of here.
I knew Magneto.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
You should run while you can. Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
Oh, tanky little grub. Get out of here. And I think that's the exit. We don't actually want to go that way just yet. You ain't getting away from me.
I wish I hadn't had to do that.
I knew Magneto.
Greetings, Knight.
Missed.
I mean,
You
quite.
I do not
So
know.
I would.
Sinister.
And yeah, if you're interested in that full dialogue, I do have a playthrough where I pause for all that stuff.
You should have run away.
We always have to come here if for no other reason than this.
Can't believe it. Mr. Sinister was going to kill us just so he could escape Sinister.
Ah, God! I can't believe it!
Please forgive me for that.
On your bike.
Get out of my way!
Wow, okay.
Oh, thank you.
No, they weren't. You just needed to poo. Just be honest, man. I respect it. There's no bathrooms in there. They said they've been in the cells for days. Would not want, like, to cave and soil your only habitation.
Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
Now, we could go through the super secret bonus portal, and we probably will before we get to the very end, but let's see. We're almost level 14. I probably do have enough credits to buy a level up,
Well, what have we?
or maybe not. And we'll just bounce around and
Forgive me for that.
out of here. Ah! Ah! Oh! Ah! Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew.
I suppose I should thank.
Oh,
And here comes the boss mob.
Yeah,
Mob
powers
boss.
grow in strength.
The belt of nature is okay. Not worth the price of admission just yet. You're fine, Pyro. Enough with the drama.
Post getting up. Forgive me for that.
You? You would eventually let me go up there. Divine is okay. Good to solo. Whoa, hold up there, mate. What? And areas like this are really easy to do when you have your teleport abilities, because you kind of just pick everything up piecemeal before they can stack up. And it looks like we're going to have to do the super secret bonus area, or buy a level, or do some danger missions, or something, in order to get that last little smidge of EXP. But what I will do is we'll go to the qualifying exam, because it's worth a decent amount of EXP. We also get a free skill point from it anyway, so no reason to avoid it. What?
The course is now active. Good luck.
When I'm finished here, they will be
And
identify you with
potions used in the danger room like aren't used in the real world, so there's no reason to worry about. Like, if you know that you can just kind of face tank it while eating potions, then you know, just do it. Just get it done. You're not saving anything. And let's see how close we are EXP wise. We have to be getting relatively close. Alright, what else do we have here? We have Trip, we have Pop Up. 2005. I'm not even sure like how much EXP that is on the bar. I'd have to do this and then see how much the bar
Training
moves.
course is activated. Begin. Generating opponent. Well done.
That said, Kurt is really good for doing these because one of the things that can mess you up is enemies teleporting, is enemies spawning on the other side. And then it takes you ages to walk around.
Generating opponent. Generating opponent. Superb. Generating opponent.
Please, forgive me for that.
Generating opponent. Congratulations, you have successfully completed the course.
And let's see how much EXP that actually is. That's on the bar. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay, we just do 1 or 2 more of those then.
This is quite exciting.
Potentially just this and then doing the bonus area might sort us out.
Generating opponent. Excellent. Superb. Generating opponent.
I wish I had
Generating
time to
opponent. Generating opponent.
Auto targeting.
Nicely done. Generating opponent.
This is such a troll. It's literally not letting me teleport attack these guys.
Generating opponent. All objectives have been
That is fine.
successfully achieved. Course is now complete. Well done.
We'll do Super Secret bonus area and hopefully that will put us in good stead. Now the question is, level 15, is there anything else I want? And it doesn't look like it, so I just need to save 1 point for Master of Chaos, which I will get, so no worries about spending those points. Alright, Super Secret bonus area, always a little bit dangerous just because of the potential of being CC'd to death by the tyrants, but should be okay. Yeah, I was hoping not to aggro them before getting the other pack, but sorry, we'll just take them all the way over here. Ooh, very dangerous. See, they just do a lot of damage to you. They're rough. And if you're fighting them, like if you accidentally pull these guys as well, you're pretty boned. But
Now I can defeat any evil on Earth. I need help.
game's being really derpy about not letting me use that console. Okay. One I haven't used. There it is.
Sorry, my
And those big guys, they're just big lumps. They're not dangerous at all. Well, later in the game when you get them like in Prison of Misery where they come in packs and they can stun lock you, and there's other enemies around that do good damage, then they become dangerous, but for now, they're pretty trivial. Now what we do want to do is go ahead and we just get Master of Chaos, that would be nice. And also some more skill points in. And as is tradition, we go to the Southern Habitats, grab ourselves a couple of extreme tokens, just so I have one extreme, because it's the whole point of doing this a little bit slower, was to make sure we have that extreme so we can have a bit of an exhibition for the boss of this, and you will see how good Master of Chaos is. If you saw the numbers and understand how multiple like attacks that deal that land multiple hits can stack with things like add physical damage, bonus mental damage, all that, then you're gonna understand that like the damage it's gonna do is absolutely crazy. Just do some like literal quick math in the head, and it's pretty wild. Especially when you start factoring in critical hits and masteries and blah 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 blah. You get a lot of multipliers on it. Just need one more of those. Beautiful. I'm not going to press it. We're good on everything else. So let's just get in there and show Abyss a new ability. And you'll see what I mean by how good this is. Like, we don't have the optimal build for like enhancing it, and we don't have the optimal gear for enhancing it, but we do have decent gear all the same. But you'll still see the damage it does. It's gonna be crazy. And as you can see, it doesn't quite half health in, but it gets close. And the thing is, because both the damage and the number of hits increases as you level it up, it is kind of multiplicative with itself. So it only gets stronger. Like, by the time we get to Rasputin, it will probably more than half health in. It might even one phase in, depending on the equipment we have. And the build we have at that point. By the time we actually have by the time we actually have fully spec'd into teleport attacks with high level teleport mastery, critical strike, all bonus physical damage on 2 equipment slots, we will genuinely be very, very close to just insta deleting bosses. And that's, considering that you're carrying 5 extreme tokens, you can use that 5 times. Like, there's no boss that lives through that 5 times. There's no boss, nothing. The only one who will is Apocalypse, because if you don't kill the horseman first, or if you don't, do the whole side palaver with the machine. But assuming you make him so that he can not just infinitely resurrect himself, and assuming you kill the horseman first, I mean, like, you just kill them all. Like, you hit Master of Chaos when they're all on the screen, they're just gone. I mean, it just evaporates. As I say, the only heroes that are potentially better boss killers than Nightcrawler are Wolverine and Sabretooth, and even then, that's only by hard mode. Going through the game on easy mode, they all kind of kill everything at about the same speed, all a little bit fast. Like high DPS characters. Iron Man, obviously, because he's completely broken with his motion amplifier. And depending on the build, Sunfire and Pyro, if you go like a full, in like Fireblade, Crit Strike build with all your melee buffs and everything on Fireblade, that pretty much one-shots bosses once you double your damage. But most heroes, they just don't have those options. And we have another extreme, but it's probably not worth using at this point because I only need to hit him like once for him to go to the other blimp. Yeah, so we'll save the extreme for the last phase.
Wanna go out with a bang?
Sometimes too much.
Wanna go out?
There's some space you grubs. And... Ow.
You've had it.
You're harder.
Wanna go out with a bang?
Sometimes I enjoy this too much.
Catch!
Oh, it doesn't hit him because it's... I had to wait like a second. That's fine, whatever. He's basically one shot, as you can see. So yeah, very good boss killer. We still haven't even unlocked a smidgen of this guy's real power yet. Pardon?
Forgive me for that.
This is the last one. This is the grub. There. And there we go, Act 1 done very comfortably, very easily.
An exempt once you.
So let's just save, make sure my game does not crash. Actually, I think I can get some EXP by talking.
Hey, thanks, Dad. I don't know. You got my.
Possibly save it as well. Rawr. Anyway. Nice start, good gear. Pretty happy with it. And that's me overriding my Juggernaut playthrough. So if we do restart, it's Act 1, Quest 1, which is fine. That's how it should be. That's the hardcore life.
Honestly, Char, 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 honestly, Char.
Apocalypse has indeed, and all that of utmost.
And here we are, Act 2, in a pretty good place, almost level 16. Decent amount of money, very nice gear, basically quite well set up. So I'll just go ahead and save that. Wait, I just said I don't want to override it. How would I do? Alright. Now, thanks to anyone who dropped by. Hope you enjoyed. And I shall see you tomorrow. Until then, take care. I'll catch you on the flip side.